what if the 5 energy types in human design were sci-fi fantasy book tropes? Literally, this might be my favorite video that I've made in 2023. This really is for a very specific audience of people who love astrology, are interested in learning human design to understand more about themselves, and who also absolutely are huge fans of the sci-fi fantasy genre. Is that you? Like, if it is, keep watching. I discovered Book Talk about 2 or 3 months ago, and I am literally obsessed. I've always been a voracious reader, and I'm now writing my own fantasy book. And I just was like, why don't I just merge my 2 passions, cosmic systems and books? Okay, here we go. Let me introduce the 5 types of human design first. So there are 5 different energy types or aura types, you could say, in human design. And what this is all about understanding how your energetic field, we've already proven that we each have an energetic field through science. Some people relate it to the energetic field of the heart. There are different ways of understanding it. Science is catching up with mystics, but it's basically this idea that we all have an aura that actually works in a different way. So we're not all the same. We interact with other people, we interact with information, we interact with the world, and understanding how that best works will help us to have a more easeful, joyful, and fulfilled life. You might even say that knowing your human design type is like knowing your sun sign in astrology. It's really, really useful, and it tells you a lot about yourself. Okay, are we ready? Okay. Oh, first, almost forgot to say, look up your human design type. So if you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, go to, there are lots of free websites, just Google it, or jovianarchive.com I really like as well. Go to a free site and put in your birth information. You need to have accurate birth information, and then you will get your human design body graph. It looks like kind of like a person, but with different shapes that are the different energetic centers. And on that body graph, it's going to show you what the name of your type is. So you need that first, then come back to this video and watch the rest and hear about your own. Okay, so let's get things rolling with projectors. So projectors in human design are just fascinating, interesting, incredibly talented beings. And if you want like just a really short summary, I just want to give, there's so much depth to this, I should have done a million caveats for this. There is so much more than type, but type is the first thing you want to learn. Okay. So projectors have a penetrating and focused aura. So imagine like your aura, instead of just like a big circle, it is like pushing out from you, really, focused and able to feel into other people's energy. And the purpose of that is so that you can actually advise and direct people in the way to go. Very good advisors, very good coaches, very good consultants. Projectors just have this natural talent for seeing things clearly, seeing situations clearly, and seeing a person's path really clearly. And this is so beautiful when that person has invited you to do it. So there's this whole thing with projectors around needing to be invited. This is part of their strategy. If you're not invited as a projector to direct someone, I mean, just imagine, like, it's like you're trying to push someone in a certain direction. They're like, leave me alone. It's my life. Like, what are you doing? Like, mind your business, So that can absolutely, and does happen to projectors a lot. And so in order to be successful as a projector, you need to only use your powers when they are requested. So that's really important. Okay. So if we want to relate a projector to a fantasy trope, it's the quest. Okay. It's the quest. We have something that we're going after, and there's a certain way that we got to get it. There's some steps. I love to use Lord of the Rings for this example. Okay. We know that we've got the ring. We need to go to Mordor. We need to destroy the ring and make sure that Sauron doesn't stop us on the way. Right. Okay. So we've got a direction, we've got a goal, and now it's just a matter of figuring out what are the steps to get us there. And so the projector in this case, I feel very strong about this. This is Gandalf, okay, or Gondalf, however you want to pronounce. This is Gandalf. This is like, okay, go here, do this, and don't put the ring on. Now, does everyone listen? Not always, but projectors really, they just represent the quest. Now, manifestors. So if you are a manifestor in human design, then your aura is closed and repelling. I like to think of it as a bowling ball. This is always the metaphor that I give. I'm giving lots of metaphors in this, I think, but like a bowling ball. So it's like, you're like, there's something that I'm here to do. I'm a disruptor, and I need people to either get on board or get out of the way and, you know, get out of my way. Helps a manifestor to be successful is when they don't wait for permission. They inform people, like, by the way, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go, you know, save the empire, but I'm going to need you to get out of my way. Okay. Like, don't try and stop me. I have a mission. I'm focused. I know what I'm going to do. If I relate this to a fantasy trope, it's the chosen one. Like, it is giving chosen one vibes. Like, manifestors really have this chosen one energy. It's like, I'm here to disrupt things. I am the one. I am not here to work by committee. I am not here to ask your opinion. There is no suggestion box. I am going for it. So the example I came up with was Hunger Games. Like, she's like, I volunteer as tribute, you know, like all the vibes, like people love her, people hate her, people don't understand her motivations. They're not sure about her. There's this like Marmite element to Katniss. But at the end of the day, she's like, I have a mission. I know what it is. And I just have to learn how to trust myself. Like, that is the manifestor path. Then we have generators. Generators, combined with manifesting generators, are the majority of the population. And so it's really interesting to think, like, most of the people that you probably are going to interact with or meet along your journey are generators or manifesting generators. Okay, so generators first. Generators, they have a defined sacral center. You don't necessarily need to know everything about that. I'll do more of a series on the centers, but that means that they have this like switch that's always on, and the switch is passion, pleasure, and creativity, baby. So generators are fueled by that. They are fueled, directed, and guided through their inner sense of pleasure, passion, and creativity. And so they are people that love to create things. They love to build things. They love to have a sense of accomplishment, a sense of like, I did this, like, yes. And they are very passionate people. They have a lot of energy, and they have this like sparkle. Their aura is what we call open and welcoming. It's like this big kind of like circular glowing aura, right? That's how I always think of it. It's like, yes, come into my world. My world is exciting. You are going to feel energized. Like, that's that's the, in general, generator vibe. And don't worry, if you are one of these types and you're not feeling like how I'm describing, don't worry about it. Sometimes there are these things that tell us if something is off. It's called our signature or our not self. I'll do a separate video on that, but there could be lots of reasons for that. But when we are doing our thing and like we are so lit up, this is how our aura presents and this is how it works. So, okay, so trope for generators. Are you ready? Romantasy. Yes! Oh, the spice, the smut, the tantalization of it all. So absolutely, it's got to be romantasy. So because romantasy is all about pleasure, invoking pleasure in the reader by like reading about the pleasure and the passion and the enjoyment and the tension and the that's happening in the book, right? We love our romantasy. I would love to give an example here of the Plated Prisoner series. So it's like, it starts off with a certain, well, I don't want to give spoilers, but there's a lot of romance in it. And there's like, what is pleasure and what does the main character enjoy is like a central part of her development in the plot line. And I think it's really masterfully done. I'm in the middle of the series. I'm almost done with book four, the last one before the next one comes out. So romantasy. So generators, like in life, you need to look for what lights you up, what you love, what turns you on. That's so important for you. Manifesting generators. They are a hybrid type between manifestors and generators, and they have the generator style aura, which is open and welcoming and shiny. But the difference between them and generators is that in general, they like to move faster and they want more variety in life. So what do we love in fantasy? A multiverse. We love to explore through a certain series, Akatar, a certain world, Prithian, and then we love to go over here and then we're going to explore a different world and different characters. But, you know, is there crossover? Is there not? It's so exciting. Manifesting generators are most successful when they let themselves be unconventional. They do not stick with a box. It's not like, oh, this is what you need to do. This is the path. This is the steps. No, for manifesting generators, it's like, I'm going to go over here and explore this. And then maybe I'll go over here and explore this, but I might not finish that. But I might just pivot over here and do this. I always say pivot with pride for manifesting generators. Like, variety for you is absolutely the spice of life. And the last thing you want to do is try to tie yourself down and try to niche yourself down to one thing and continue doing that continuously. That would be a nightmare for you. You need variety, you need excitement, you need pleasure, and you like to have your fingers in many pots. So it's the multiverse adventure for you. Now, the final type in human design is reflectors. And I always love saving reflectors for last because they are the rarest type. And if you look at the statistics, what we find, estimated of course, is that reflectors are about 1.9% of the population right now. Very unique human design type. I can't wait to introduce it to you and their fantasy trope. Reflectors' aura is what we call a sampling aura. The way I envision it is like a filter, right? So like as in like a water filter, not a Snapchat filter. But the idea is that they are just these incredibly magical, incredibly intuitive people that like to taste a little bit of everything in life and decide what is for them and what is not for them. They're like this incredible magical filtration system. And so they're like, okay, I'm going to sample this. I'm going to try it. You know, do I like it? Do I not? Nope. Spit it out. We're done. When a reflector is truly in their power, they are very clear with the boundaries. They are like, yes is yes, no is no. And I don't need to explain myself to you. I have my boundaries. I enforce them. And I create an environment for myself and an inner circle for myself that is incredibly cozy, enjoyable, and trustworthy. This is really the magic. When reflectors are truly like in alignment, they are very good at sussing out what is not working and what is not true and what is not honest in their immediate environment and with the people around them. So when we think of fantasy tropes, I had to go with two, and they're very different vibes, but I think that kind of goes along with the reflector, the very rare, very unique reflector aura type. And so that would be mystery, number one, and cozy fantasy, number two. If you're a reflector, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Like, do you feel connected to either of these tropes? Let me explain. So mystery, first of all, because there is this side of being a reflector that is very magical, very mystical, very unexplained. It's this internal trust and intuition and psychic power that is like, I know what's going on here. I know what's good for me. I know what's not. And it's not based on logic or science or anything. It's just this understanding, this knowing, this inner knowing. And so I thought mystery was a really nice connection here, because a lot of times when you read a sci-fi fantasy mystery, what you're getting is you're getting a lot of twists and turns, and you're getting a lot of like the main character trying to figure out who can I trust and who can't I trust. And that, I think, is actually a lot of what reflectors really work through in their hero's journey, in their story. And then I included cozy fantasy in here too, like Legends and Lattes. For the mystery element, actually, that's going to be my book that I'm writing. But anyway, if you've got some amazing mystery fantasy recommendations, put them in the comments. But Legends and Lattes is like very classic. I actually have not read it yet, so I have not read a cozy fantasy, but it is on my TBR and I would like to check it out. But that, my understanding is, it's like this idea of like there's romance, there's coziness. It's like the vibe of like this cafe, kind of like Gilmore Girls aesthetic. And it's all about like comfort and enjoyment and pleasure. And I think this is a really important thing for reflectors to remember, is like the reason that you are really figuring out your own filtration system is so that you can have a beautiful life experience, so that you can experience the things that are correct for you, the environments where you thrive, so that you can experience the relationships in the inner circle that is truly trustworthy, that truly respects your boundaries, and that help you to become the best person that you can be. And there's so much about reflectors that's about curating your environment, your home environment, the people you hang out with, what, the feng shui of your house. And to me, that's giving cozy fantasy vibes. We have now, in this part 2, finished going through all 5 of the human design aura types. What do you think? What do you think of your type? Do you resonate with how I described it? Like the vibe, the way, what you're here to do in the world, like your gifts? Do you resonate with your fantasy trope? What do you think? And by the way, I am a manifesting generator and I love all the tropes. Well, not all of them, but many of the tropes. And so it's not like I'm saying that you have to pick one. It's just a bit of fun and a bit of a way of kind of explaining how your energy specifically works. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were entertained, as they say in Gladiator, my favorite movie. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day and that you go on and you enjoy diving deeper into the system of human design. It really is incredible. It's what I call astrology in motion. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I love to be inspired by your questions so I can create more videos.